Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I have gathered a distinguished group of men here today. It's myself, the Beast of the East, Jonathan Periente,
Sup?
my radio mentor, former host of the New Yorker Sports Rant, Matt Boyle, and our good friend from the Professional Fanatics, Mr. Rob Simmons. We are all known for being out there people. We have all said out there things on professional radio and podcasts. We've all said and done outrageous things in the media. So I feel that we four are uniquely qualified to do this. There is a young man out there in the NFL who has decided, in my opinion, to tank his entire life. And we here at Downtown Sports, we try to ignore the TMZ headlines and give you the straight facts because we know why you listen to sports talk podcasts. It's not for TMZ style news. If you want that, you go to TMZ. We understand that. But sometimes when things get too crazy, for example, the Baker's dozen, Draymond Green talking about what women should do, mansplaining women's sports to them, we have to come out and start talking about it. Mr. Aiyuk has now moved into one of these situations. So I have brought on Rob to help us chronicle everything that's happened because, Rob, I don't think because while you've been talking about it on the Professional Fanatics, I don't think we've actually gone through a historical timeline of everything that Brandon Aiyuk has said from November until now. It's sort of been like a slow descent into madness. So I just wanted to introduce our guests first real quick. Matt, Rob, thanks for coming on. And
Always, man.
feel like having you two meet is like it's like the meeting of the mega powers because I swear to God, Rob, I see so much of Matt and you when you do your shit on the Professional Fanatics. It's uncanny. So
he must be a handsome man.
Oh, listen. Just be grateful. You're younger and better looking. So just take that as a compliment.
God bless. Things with Aiyuk have really gone south. It really, I guess, if you have to go all the way back, Week 7, 2024. I guess it's a perfect way to begin this whole story with the saga and downfall of Brandon Aiyuk.
Just what happened? Start before that. First of all, I just want to thank you guys for having me on. Matt, great to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, man.
I'll talk you up quite a bit, so really excited to be on with you guys. As always, being on Downtown Sports, we love you guys. So this, if you want to go back to his rookie year, there was the ominous benching and kind of like he was in the doghouse for no reason. No one really knew why. Shanahan didn't comment on it. So that's kind of the start of the saga. It was like he was playing well as a rookie, playing better than his draft capital would have suggested, and he just was in the doghouse. And then the next year he played well, obviously earned this giant contract, and I'm of the belief that Brandon Aiyuk is a product of the system, Kyle Shanahan's system, more than it is he's an elite player. He's a very good player. Solid. Not a, perennial Pro Bowler or a Hall of Fame talent by any stretch. But he got paid like one, right?
Yeah.
4 years, $120 million, $80 million guaranteed. That's a lot of money to give somebody. A lot of money. And then that's when it started. Struggled the first 2024, had 3 stinkers in a row, then has one good game, another game that was going to be bad, then he tears his ACL. That was the last time we saw Brandon Aiyuk on the field. It's been a long time, gentlemen.
Yes.
Very long time. All right, so moving on from there, we have the injury, all the guaranteed money, the bonuses, and then the whole year passes, whatever. He wasn't going to play that year. Next year starts, no news, doesn't report to camp, doesn't have any contact with the team. So now there's just no contact. He is just pretty much saying they screwed me over, even though they just paid him way more than he deserved. And he has not talked to the team. He has not been. I don't think he's been in California, guys, because he is not in California now. He has not been.
No.
So he's just not. He's not going to the facilities. He's not talking to Kyle Shannon. He's not talking to John Lynch.
So wait a minute.
Any of his
Now
teammates.
So now it's where in the world is Brandon Aiyuk? He's hanging out with Carmen Sandiego and all of her friends
Oh my goodness!
right now. Is basically
And
what
all
you're
that
telling
being said, guys, it was still pretty quiet. It was weird because it was quiet, but he was keeping his mouth shut. He was like, I'm going to take my paycheck. They can cut me and I get my guaranteed money. Posted a video about 12 months ago, pretty much laughing at the Niners, saying, you paid me $50 million to not do anything. Like laughing in their face, which is not a good look. Just take your money. You just made $50 million, bro. And then as you know, recently, the last couple of months, it's just been Instagram video after Instagram video. During the season, I think it was like week 12, he posted the video of him driving by the stadium at like 110 miles an hour, shows the speedometer, pretty much says, fuck the Niners, which is a crime. You know, it's not a felony, but it's a misdemeanor. Like essentially going 70 miles over the speed limit. And after what happened with Henry Ruggs, like, come on, bro, like have a little bit of a sense of
have some sense.
right or wrong.
You could have killed somebody. Like,
and on his phone, right? Like that's a double, like speeding, doing a live stream, whatever. Like I live stream every night, guys, but you can see I'm drinking, but I'm in the comfort of my own house. He's doing it in his fucking car, just touting the fact he has his fast car, mocking the Niners. And at this point, I think the Niners were they wanted to let it go right before this. They were just going to cut bait, whatever. The Niners could always find another Brandon Aiyuk. Brandon Aiyuk can't find another Niners just for,
because here's the thing. The Niners in these situations, now correct me if I'm wrong, and Matt, you're a historical football fan, so you know this too. The Niners in these situations always handle them historically bad. So they just generally keep their mouths shut in these situations because they know if they open their mouths, that organization generally says the wrong thing, does the wrong thing. So all they had to do was let Aiyuk bury himself.
The most famous example would be how bad it went with Charles Haley at the end of his career with the 49ers, where he ends up in Dallas and they win a Super Bowl, and he was fantastic. Listen, it's an organization that's obviously had a lot of success, but you know, when it comes to, you know, this is a different NFL than it was back then. Social media wasn't what it is now. There was no social media. There was the press. You know, there was newspapers. You know, so I would be, it's like two different worlds. I wouldn't even try to relate to it because with how the salary cap has changed everything. And the social media presence, it's a different world now. I mean, you're seeing, quarterbacks getting, $500 million contracts. We didn't see that back, in the 90s. So it's a different world. I mean, while it's still the NFL, it's not the same sport.
As of right now, as far as Aiyuk's situation is concerned, and you're probably wondering, well, why haven't the Niners just cut him? Right now, Aiyuk is on the reserve left squad list.
All right, made a separate list for Aiyuk. It's like the Aiyuk list.
The left squad list is basically Aiyuk will not receive pay, and he's locked in his contract with the Niners, so he cannot become a free agent or sign with another team. And until he decides to file for reinstatement, which he refuses to do. Aiyuk doesn't want to apply for
reinstatement until he goes to the facility. And once he checks back in with the team, then they have to make a decision. But he is firmly saying he's never going back there.
Yeah.
So like the people advising him are just idiots, or he's not listening to.
He's trying to hold the team hostage. He's trying to hold them hostage, is what he's trying to do.
But the team is holding him hostage. That's what he doesn't understand.
He would be awful in the hostage negotiations, like in an X-Files episode. Like everyone just dies. You know what I mean? Like the hostages die. The hostages die.
So from what I'm understanding,
he clearly doesn't have any CIA operatives working on his team.
No, nothing at all. Do you know what he's doing? He's treating this like a street beat. And Brandon Aiyuk did not come from the streets. Okay, he did not grow up in the hood. His parents were not like his parents didn't abandon him. He didn't grow up in an orphanage. He didn't grow up in the peas. Like, he didn't have to sling weight as a kid. He didn't do any of that stuff. Like, he grew up as a middle class kid from good parents. Never was a character problem. Was one of Jaden Daniels' favorite receivers.
He was from a town, Rockland, California. He's from a town in California called Rockland, Rocklin.
Okay. Rockland, California is not okay. I'm not saying Rockland's the greatest place in the world. It's not terrible either, but he's treating this like it's a street beef, and he thinks this is going to get him social media followers. That's what he's doing.
That might get him social media followers. The bottom line, though, is like, how much money is he going to make from social media? How much money was he making from playing football? Literally 1,000 times more money playing football. And he just decided to say, he thinks he's Calvin Johnson or something. Like, dude, you're not Calvin Johnson. You got paid more than what Calvin Johnson got paid based on the era you're playing in. But he's screwed, man. So we want to go into this contract thing. So he got all this guaranteed money, right?
Yeah.
So they voided his contract. So the contract's void. But what he doesn't realize is because he pretty much violated the terms of his contract, he's gonna get for sure. He's gonna be able to keep all the money he got from the year that he set out, right? The year he played 6 games and then set out. But the signing bonus essentially breaks down to 5 years. Now you get the signing bonus all in one lump sum. It was essentially $5 million a year. It was $33 million is the signing bonus. They break that up, though, into 5 years. He gets it all in one lump sum, but essentially, since he violated his contract, they can go back and take that money now.
Which is exactly what they did.
Signing bonus, and that's what they're going to do right now. He's not getting any future money, but there's a chance he spent his money already, like a lot of his money, and he's not going to have the money to pay them back. And in the clause, it's like they will get his future earnings in the NFL. He's not going to have any future earnings in the NFL because he's not going to play in the NFL. He's going to become Delonte West.
So Aiyuk signed a 4-year, $120 million contract. This was back in August of 24, and $76 million of that was total guaranteed money. And the Niners, as of this year, voided that guaranteed money with not fulfilling his contract and also skipping rehab regimens after he got injured in week 7 in 24.
I just thought about something. Is everybody in this conversation ready? Now, Matt, tell me what you think on this one, too. Could Brandon Aiyuk be purposely doing all of this to make himself completely unsignable so that this way, because in his clause it says any future NFL earnings, meaning if he doesn't play another down of NFL football, they cannot go after him for any of the money he's already got.
Oh, they
because
can.
That's what he
won't have it. He just won't have it. So, like, if he can't pay it off, if they can, they can always fudge the numbers. Look what OJ did, right? When like Nicole Brown's family tried taking the money, like he was going loopholes.
But Beast, can we get the actual? While we discuss this, Beast, can we get the actual terms of the contract? Matt, what do you got? What do you think of that whole situation? Like, do you think the NFL or do you think the 49ers can actually say, well, you're trying to purposely skirt the terms of this contract by making yourself unmarketable, therefore we can now go after you for this money?
A traditional gyro, just snow on it.
All right, well, here I got I have the full contract basics and the breakdown of 26 for Aiyuk. So he was going to have $27 million in guaranteed money that got voided this year. He's an unrestricted free agent in 2029.
Yeah.
Okay.
His base salary is $26,150,000. Workout bonus of $100,000. This is for 26. The base salary was $26,150,000. Workout bonus of $100,000, and per game roster bonuses of $750,000. About $44,117 per active game. That was his breakdown for this year under his contract.
So if that got voided, then any of the blowback clause or anything else is voided. But he's on this list of it doesn't get paid. So is that voided per game until they decide to take Aiyuk off that list, or is he
I would
on
think
that list
so.
for the entire season?
They voided the 27 million in salary guarantees after Aiyuk did not participate in rehab sessions for his injured knee. So that got voided when Aiyuk didn't go for the mandatory rehab sessions that he was supposed to recover from his injury.
Essentially,
Okay,
the
so-
only money he's going to be able to keep is the money from last season and the 1 year signing bonus. So the other 4 years, he already got the whole signing bonus, but it's broke down year by year. Since they
Right.
voided the contract from this year on, this current year 2026, he has to pay that money back.
Yeah.
So essentially, instead of they said he got $50 million, but 33 of it was signing bonus. So essentially, he only made 17 million.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to actually have to owe. He might be broke. Like he actually might.
He's
going to
be in debt.
pay this
He's
back.
in debt. He's in debt. There's no way around that.
Yeah, well, actually, if the terms of the contract say his future NFL earnings would have to pay that back, that means the Niners are going to demand Aiyuk play.
There was also an option bonus. The contract alteration also includes an option bonus worth just under 25 million, 24.935 million.
Yeah, that's how the Niners, quote unquote, recoup that signing bonus.
Yeah, so this is a very there's a cap hit of 13,665,790. So that's the cap hit for this year, and then the career earnings of 60,000. So he's
not playing this year though. There's just no way because the Commanders were the spot, right? And the recent Instagram post, this was 4 days ago.
When, this is what we want. Yeah.
So Jaden Daniels is at a World Cup game.
Yeah.
And Jaden Daniels is a great kid, a super humble kid, just a very modest individual. And there's someone filming him walking through the crowd, and someone in the crowd leans over the stands and was like, "Hey, Jaden." He's like, "How about Brandon Aiyuk? What's up with Brandon Aiyuk?" And he just smiles, laughs a little bit, doesn't say anything, probably because he was uncomfortable. And Aiyuk sees this video and sees it as a slight because Brandon Aiyuk's lost his goddamn mind. And immediately goes to his Instagram and starts not threatening Jaden Daniels, but tags him at Jaden Daniels, whatever his name is there on Instagram, saying, "Hey, boy, you're on my team now, boy." He's like, so the best thing about it, he says, here's the quote, "Boy, I'm a grown-ass man, boy." So essentially, he's like in the I don't know, the military for morons, where, in the military you say, "Sir, yes, sir." He's saying boy, and then boy at the end. "Boy, I'm a grown-ass man, boy," which is the dumbest thing ever. Jaden Daniels is much more of a man than Brandon Aiyuk could ever be. And now he's going at Jaden Daniels. He calls out his mom, essentially, which is insane. Says it's his team, calls out Jaden Daniels, who they're supposed to be best friends, is the franchise quarterback of the Commanders. And this is the one team that was going to sign him for sure, just because it made sense in terms of the roster, the connection with Jaden Daniels. They needed a receiver. And now he's calling out Jaden Daniels. He calls out Jaden Daniels' mom and says it's his team. So the Commanders, no way. Jaden Daniels, I don't care if he makes up with – it's just if he makes up with Brandon Aiyuk, that's one thing. You think the front office is going to bring this guy on the team now? Nobody's
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Hold on.
Also, let's look at who's available. Keenan Allen.
This is the Commanders.
That's true.
This is the Commanders.
Okay.
Who would you rather have? I'm going to give you some names for just a 1 year rental because that's what Brandon Aiyuk would be because it's a prove it deal. It's going to be a better minimum deal. It's Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel. Now, Deebo Samuel was just there last year. They're not going to bring him back. Just in general, if you're any team, any of the 32 teams, those three names. Keenan Allen is older, 35, Hall of Famer, though. Stephon Diggs is 32, 33, but he's a potential Hall of Famer. And Deebo Samuel is the youngest of the bunch and offers a specific skill set that not many players do. So there's no way Aiyuk's getting signed before these three guys. And these three guys are all still free agents. So there's just no way anyone's signing this. The only team I said that would be the Browns. But the Browns drafted two receivers in the first 2 rounds in the draft. They have Jerry Jeudy. They have Cedric Tillman. They like Isaiah Bond. They have Harold Fannin. Like, they don't need another receiver.
And they got Concepcion. They drafted Concepcion as well.
Or the Raiders. The Raiders could do it. That's the only option I feel like.
To do it. The Raiders need to
Tom
do
Brady. Tom Brady's in the ownership group there. Tom Brady's not an idiot. Like, Tom's not going to bring this on that team. Mendoza's a nice kid. Do you want to bring Brandon Aiyuk there?
Come. Well, Kirk Cousins will beat him into submission if he doesn't listen. There's that.
Dude, he's not going to listen. He's literally tanking his career. and he's making a fool out of himself. He's talking shit to his friends. He's just a knucklehead, and he's Antonio Brown at the end of his career, and Antonio Brown was already done.
I compared him to AB 2.0 myself, but I don't think. But he doesn't have a history of concussions or anything like something was like he had a head injury. No, he has not had that, Aiyuk. But
he's trying to make it so that San Francisco keeping him is just so impossible that they have to get rid of him.
Is he trying to sink the football team? Is he trying to sink the Niners?
He's trying to make himself so toxic that they have to cut him.
But they don't have to cut him until he reports, because they could just keep in limbo and do the ex-girlfriend thing and just be like, you know what, screw you. I'm gonna screw you. That they didn't want to. They were just gonna release him. But I think that Lynch and Shanahan, I mentioned the Shanahan beef with him as a rookie, and my wife made a good point. I was explaining this whole situation to her, and she's like, well, maybe Kyle Shanahan knew something like that rookie year. Because there was, like Miles said, like Aiyuk was not a troubled kid. He didn't come from a bad background. There's no noise. There's no character issues coming out of ASU. So but Kyle Shanahan must have saw something to bench this guy, and he had a crystal ball or something, because no one in their wildest dreams imagined Brandon Aiyuk could be pulling this shit. Any NFL player would be pulling this shit. Like, this isn't like getting arrested for something stupid. This is like straight up saying F you to the NFL, to your teammates, to the franchise that drafted you and paid you all this money.
Kyle Shanahan not like him, Deebo Samuel hated his guts too. Like, Deebo Samuel didn't like him.
Kittle didn't like
him. I don't know about Kittle. Kittle likes everybody.
Yeah, but Kittle's like the leader of that team. He's a captain on that team. Is Kittle?
They loved him on the field because Brandon Aiyuk is a dog on the field. He will block. He's not a George Pickens, right? Like, you don't see Brandon Aiyuk dogging it on the field and like not hustling. So like, this is all off the field stuff. This is all personality traits, locker room stuff possibly, but not on the field. They wanted to go to war with Brandon Aiyuk because he is a guy you want to go to war with. On the field, his film, I have not seen one play where it's like he took it off. He has not taken any plays off. It's just, I don't know what happened between the injury and now. And, he probably has CTE because all these players do. I know there was no documented concussions, but this kind of stuff starts early now, high school, college. But all these players have it. And how many like comparisons do we have besides Antonio Brown, who we literally saw Vontaze Burfict like change his life with that hit? Like we have a 1-to-1 comparison of what happened to Antonio Brown. It was multiple concussions, coming back early from concussions. Mm-hmm. There's no real correlation with Brandon Aiyuk right now about what's going on besides him just losing his mind.
After his recent passing, they discovered Marshawn Kneeland had CTE.
There you go. That dude barely played in the NFL. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But he didn't he had obviously what happened to him, he had like some kind of they described it was like a mental episode, some kind of an emotional breakdown or something like that. And then the next thing you know, Kneeland passed away after he came off a really good game the previous week.
We should be concerned about Aiyuk. As much as we're joking about this because it is fucking funny, and you know what?
But it's not.
He's appealing to people on Instagram, and all us normal people that work our ass off for what little things we have, and we appreciate it because we live in America. It's a great country. We all have it made. No one's going to sympathize with the athlete that just got paid $130 million that's crying about his job, dude. I don't care. I would shovel shit 24 hours a day if I could make $30 million a year. Like I would do it. I would definitely play football for free, dude. Like that's these guys' passions and how much work Brandon Aiyuk put into becoming an NFL player. All these guys. That's the one thing I always back up NFL players of is like they sacrifice their life. They put so much time and effort into it to now get there, get the money and say, yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm not only am I good, I'm not going to show up to the team. I'm going to just tank everything and just make myself look like an idiot. But we have to be concerned about his well-being. Does he live past 30, dude?
Yeah.
No, but this is also why I wanted to bring this up and why I wanted to talk about this, because this goes beyond, oh, look at this. This is why I wanted to, this is why I called it the slow descent into madness. I know it seems like a funny little thing and we're a little jokey about it, but at the end of it, I'm not a person that hides about my own situations. Beast is not either. We are not people that hide about mental health or any of that. So, this could be deteriorating mental health behavior. This could also be Brandon Aiyuk's people trying to tell him to make himself look as toxic as possible so that he doesn't play another down in the NFL, so that the 49ers have no legal recourse to recoup any of the signing bonus. Because that could be a thing. Because if that is the official contract language, if he doesn't play another down of NFL football, the 49ers then have no legal recourse to get their money back. They could sue him to high heaven for their signing bonus back if he doesn't play another down of football. However, they can't necessarily, control it if another team doesn't want him.
The crazy gripe here that I'm reading with Aiyuk, I just was like reading this for a minute. Aiyuk kind of did his own rehab, which is why he's not been reporting to the team's rehab. Basically, and this is, I think, again, also part of what he wrote on what he did on social media, saying, he reached physical recovery markers faster than the surgeon's timeline and has data to prove it. He's been kind of going off on that little tangent as well. And he said a million times he's not reinstating with them. He's been being very firm on his belief. But I wonder if because the Niners weren't happy that he was rehabbing on his own, they said, you better rehab with our doctors, and maybe that's where this whole rift happened.
But do you know what? Well, you know what, though? They did let CMC go rehab with his own doctors.
Right. He went overseas. He went overseas for treatment. So maybe did Aiyuk feel like, hey, why is McCaffrey, who's barely been on the team for a few years, getting special treatment? He gets to do his thing. But when I go to my own doctors, I do my own rehab. I'm not going through the team doctors. I'm a bad guy. I get a feeling a good piece of this dispute is coming from this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a mental episode. Maybe something's not right with him. Maybe Aiyuk's hiding something that he doesn't want people to know. I don't really know.
We were having with Tom Sizemore or something. Who is he choosing?
Well,
I have to say,
that's the thing. Who is he choosing? That is the question. Does anybody know who he chose? You know what? We do this on this program a lot, Rob. We're gonna find out the real answers because you know what? Nobody else seems to. We're going to dive deep and we're going to find out the real answers to these questions. Who are the people that helped rehabilitate Brandon Aiyuk that were better than the San Francisco 49er team doctors?
He just simply said he's been completing his rehab independently rather than with the Niners at their team facility.
Independently. Okay.
Independently.
That's just not how it works. I mean, CMC is a special case, but if you go back to Joe Mixon last year, the Texans were really mad at him. And that's why we haven't heard a peep from Joe Mixon or any team signing Joe Mixon because the NFL will blackball you. And Joe Mixon went to get special treatment on his foot injury, and we just haven't heard anything since week 2 last year. And just so CMC is a special case. Peyton Manning, these guys are a little different than Brandon Aiyuk.
And it goes even more. Yeah, 49ers apparently forced Aiyuk to rehab at facility while Nick Bosa and McCaffrey rehabbed wherever they wanted, which is going back to the rehabbing overseas. And I think Bosa was in Florida rehabbing his injuries. So I wonder,
we're not Aiyuk not understand how the world works. We've all had bosses, we've all workplaces where people get special treatment, and I know it sucks to not get the special treatment, but you also have to understand that's kind of the way of life. And you know what Brandon Aiyuk's special treatment was? He got paid $120 million. CMC doesn't make that much money. You know what I'm saying? He's the most overpaid player in the NFL. But
you're hearing the term double standard, and obviously Aiyuk is it a race issue again? Because McCaffrey and Bosa are white, and mine Aiyuk's black, and there's going to be this little discrimination. Is this a discrimination issue as well?
Good call, man. I mean, it could be, and that's probably how he's taking it. But you know what I would do? I would just take the money and play rehab.
No, that makes sense. I mean, and how Aiyuk is handling it is wrong. However, Bosa, McCaffrey, white guys can go do whatever the hell they want. Aiyuk, not white guy, gets told bad boy. So Aiyuk is, okay, you're going to treat me like a kid. I'm going to act like a kid. I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
if that's the case, again, he fell for it. He bought into what they were doing, and that's what they wanted because they didn't want him. I know Kyle Shanahan did not want to pay Brandon Aiyuk. I don't know why they did. They tried trading him to the Steelers when he was holding in, essentially, before 2024. He was holding, for that contract. The Niners were in such win-now mode then. They're like, we need Brandon Aiyuk on this team. And, he got his wish, and, Shanahan did not get his wish. But the bottom line is, it doesn't matter. All these things are small. They're small potatoes. Just show up. Everyone else is doing it. The NFL is a
Yeah.
privilege, man.
Well, for
Yeah,
Shanahan,
but
this
you know
was
what,
new
though?
territory for Shanahan too, because he said 20 years I've been coaching. Never had this.
All I'm gonna
20
say is,
years.
all I'm gonna say is this when it comes to the Ayuk situation. Ayuk needs to realize he has no leverage, and the 49ers are gonna 49er. The guy who had all the leverage in the world was Colin Kaepernick, and he still never played another down of NFL football.
Yeah.
Although Kaepernick walked away with a pretty hefty bag, a Nike endorsement deal, and millions upon millions of dollars.
And he
no
still believes I could
CTE.
still play. He's not turning his is he turning his back completely on the NFL? Kaepernick, I wouldn't say so, but
Why would he play another down of NFL football? He got a huge, $33 million bag from Nike that he never had to get hit for ever again.
he's pretty much kept
Also,
quiet
did you
ever
see
since making the money.
Did you see Colin Kaepernick make these Instagram videos though? Like, no,
No.
he's kind of kept quiet.
No.
Like, that's what you're supposed
No.
to do. Like, don't ruffle
Thank you
feathers,
so
man.
much.
He did his speeches in front of the media, wore clothing, did everything exactly the way you were supposed to do it, and he got called all of this crazy crap anyway. He did exactly what you were supposed to do, and at the end of it all, he got the bag from Nike. Brandon Aiyuk ain't doing it the right way.
Well, until we
Kaepernick gave you the blueprint on how to fuck with the Niners. Why aren't you doing it?
I get a bad feeling things are going to further explode as we're inching closer to preseason. We're inching closer to the beginning of the NFL season. Crazily believe we're already in the beginning of July. August is when we start preseason, folks. We're starting preseason in August. We're getting into training. We're already in the beginning of training camp. Things are starting to heat up again as the NFL season is drawing near. And I get a feeling if Debo and some of these other guys go sign with other teams, you don't think Ayuk's going to not come out of the woodwork and say something else and try to make another scene. I'm telling you, we just only scratched the surface with him.
Johnny, every month since November, it's just been getting more and more and more unhinged with him. And Rob, you're right. It doesn't matter. And Johnny, in a way, yeah, is it about race? I do think it is because the 49ers have made it about race before, especially this ownership group. But none of that matters when you're making an IG video at 117 miles an hour driving past the stadium.
Well, look at some of the unhinged things Jaden Ivey was doing. Look what Jaden Ivey was doing for a period of time. Bulls got rid of him while he was hurt, recovering. He made a few comments about religion and whatever. Bulls said, all right, we're not taking that. We're getting rid of you. We're getting rid of you. Yeah, that was not race.
To do with race.
It's not race. You're correct.
When you almost get your mother fired from being the coach of Notre Dame basketball.
Yes. But he went a little too far trying to push the idea of his religion and then bringing up the gay and LGBTQ. He went far off the deep end at Ivy.
Yeah, because here's the thing. You're not fighting for your own when you're attacking someone else.
Yeah. And his wall already came crumbling down. All the walls came crumbling down around Ivy very quickly. Okay? All the walls crumbled down around Ivy.
And you know what? Everybody told Kaepernick he did it the wrong way. No. Kaepernick showed the path of how to do this. If Ayuk was doing this and it were about race, there's a different way of going about it. Ayuk is doing this for himself, and the people around him are not giving either A, the people around him are giving him terrible advice, or B, we really got to be worried about his health. We really got to be worried about his mental health. And this is where I say we've got to draw lessons from stuff like this because, I don't care who you are. If you see a friend start doing stuff like this, I don't care how famous they are. I don't care how much money they got. Stop them. Stop them. Tell them put the phone down. I don't care Like put the phone down, take the post down, like call them and be like, get that post off of the internet, apologize, do something, everything. And you know what? This just like this kind of stupidity just baffles me. And you know, when we were talking about race, let's bring this up because we're gonna sign off this episode, but we got to transition to World Cup in a couple minutes.
Yeah, there have been some things there that have been.
But Rob, you want to hear racism? Let's hear some racism before we sign off.
Oh boy,
Beast, let them know what I'm talking about.
Well, there were some racist remarks thrown by the senator, and this is coming off of the last game France played in the knockout stage against Paraguay. France ended up winning 1-0 on a penalty kick by Kylian Mbappe. And there were some comments made by the senator of Paraguay going against Mbappe. Basically, bringing up things like, how is this guy playing for France and yada, yada. Just Mbappe's been firing back.
It's quotes. It's quotes from a freaking politician.
Here we go. Yeah. Celeste Amarilla.
In the world stage.
Celeste Amarilla wrote a long racist tirade on X describing Mbappe as a colonized Cameroonian trying to pass himself off as French and as a brute who had not learned to write, end quote.
And
he made a comment about eating coconuts too.
Yeah, that. Eating coconuts, called him a chimpanzee?
A colonized Cameroonian trying to pass himself off as French. No, that goes way out of line for me. I mean, come on.
I had a coworker once tell me that, and I was like, "What are you talking about, man?" I was like, "Me?"
Oh, wow.
Still, but this is just a little piece of that. And obviously, there have been other little things that have been going on in the World Cup too. It's not just this. Obviously, what's been going on with the Middle East and Egypt's head coach was bringing in a yeah.
So Mbappe responded.
He did. Mbappe did respond back to those comments. Yes, he did.
There's a back and forth here.
Called Amarilla a despicable woman, unworthy of your position. You do not represent Paraguay, that country which has sweated passion and honor throughout the competition. Through your recklessness and your brazen racism, the entire world has forgotten the journey and the historic effort your players accomplished, making way for an incompetent woman who gives the worst possible image of her country. I will never allow people like her the freedom to spread their hatred and racism across the world. That was coming from Mbappe. And the triple F, which is the
shot.
Yeah. And it keeps going. The triple F, the French Football Federation, has also announced plans to file a criminal complaint. So this is not going away. This is not going to go away.
The senator responded back.
Oh, good Lord.
She responded back.
Oh, boy.
This shit just gets juicier by the second. Matt, do you have that?
I don't have it in front of me. I'll get it. I'll cue it up in a second. Yeah, she did respond. Yes.
Maddie's going to get that.
She wants an apology, apparently.
Yeah, she does. She does.
She wants an apology. She wants an apology.
Oh, goodness.
You can't make this stuff up.
I mean, it's bad enough when Brazil lost to Norway. At least they didn't go on a racist tirade. You saw all the Brazilian fans smashing and destroying their television sets.
Yeah.
That's fine. Take your anger out on television sets. Fine. You want to blow off some steam and break your television? Fine. Just know it'll cost money, about $300 to get a new TV. That's fine.
So whoever gets it first, tell me what Senator Loca had to say.
Boy.
Let me see if I can dig it up here.
Hey, guys, before I leave, I want to ask you guys this to tie a bow on this Brandon Aiyuk conversation. So,
yes.
Yeah,
I want to get each of your guys' percentage that he plays this year. We're not going to pick a team that he's on the field this year, and you know what? I'm gonna put a caveat that he plays ever again, because if he does not play this year, that'd be 3 full years, essentially 3 years of not playing football.
Yeah,
he'll be 29 next year. He's not playing ever again if he does not play this year. Give me your percentage chance you see him on the field. You see Brandon Aiyuk on the field again.
2%.
Woo!
2%.
Mouth?
Zero. He's trying to avoid having to give back that signing bonus. That he is legally trying to avoid giving back a cent of that signing bonus. If he plays NFL football again, anything he makes is being garnished 50% to pay back that signing bonus. Why would he ever play a down of NFL
He thinks he's
football
holier
ever
than
He's
thou.
gonna need money. I mean,
He thinks he's a
I'm gonna
holier
say
than thou
10%.
figure.
I'm going to say 10% because the NFL, there's a couple
10%.
franchises that, that's still really low. That's still really low.
And
Better
Matt,
than
what do you got?
2%.
Based upon everything you heard about the IU conversation, I want to get your opinion, Matt, before Robbie breaks out of here.
I mean, based on everything I heard tonight and some of the things I've read, I mean, it does not sound good for him playing another down in the NFL. I could be wrong. Rob's right, and from the standpoint that the NFL is a blood market. If they think they can get blood out of a stone, they'll do it. But I think the just sort of like having to deal with the parameters and like the social aspect of it, bringing this guy in, I can't see a coach really being excited about the opportunity to work with this guy. Like you said, a dog on the field, absolutely. But when you have to deal with the emotional, the emotional sort of fragility, or I don't even know how you would term it, but like you just don't know where you'd stand with this guy. And bringing a guy like that into your locker room, you just got to be careful, because if you feel like, you mentioned the Browns, well, it'd be a very Brownsian move, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I would say no. I think I don't think he plays another.
So you think 0%?
Yeah, I'll go 0.
Okay.
I can never go that low because there's teams like the Cowboys out there who, if George Pickens goes south,
that's a fair point. That is a fair point.
Fair.
As a Cowboy fan, yeah, that is a fair point.
Yeah, Jerry Jones likes to make some splash moves. What's splashier? They're bringing this guy, this Instagram model. Essentially, that's what Brandon Aiyuk is now. He's an Instagram model in your locker room.
Well, fortunately, over the last few years, Fortunately, over the last few years, they wanted to draft Johnny Manziel, and Steven was like, "No, there'll be none of that." And
finally, they're coming to their senses a little bit.
Yeah. They finally got some common sense. But
Jerry's getting older, though. He's getting older, though. So he needs one more Jerry moment. I think this would be the one. This would be the one.
You could be right. You could be right.
No, that moment is bringing in Shadur Sanders to replace Dak once they finally break him. But remember, he communicates in middle fingers and spit dribbles. So
very true.
Never put anything by Jerry.
So I just can't believe all that. We'll cover the rest of the Paraguay senator and versus Mbappe on the World Cup edition of Downtown Sports with Mr. Matt Boyle. I just wanted to bring the mega powers together, and I figured Brandon Aiyuk would be a nice, good little topic to do that with.
And I think it's been very important we bring this up, because who knows how this is going to escalate as we get into the coming weeks, maybe the coming months.
And this also brings up another debate. Like, by the way, shout outs to the A7FL. They're a damn good league. This makes me wonder, like, should we really be looking at how football is played and, maybe get the pads off so they're not running at each other like, people with knights armor on.
Maybe get good people around you to know how to deal with money in situations and how to handle certain scenarios if there's disagreements. Because when you have nobody to hold you back, when you're off the chain, look what happens.
Or don't sign with the 49ers.
Well, don't sign with the 49ers. I mean, a lot of players.
They do bad business. Look around.
So why haven't McCaffrey and Kittle left? How come Brock Purdy hasn't left? I mean, we can make that argument. Those guys are not going anywhere. They're going to be Niners for the rest of their careers.
You brought it up before, John.
Yeah, well.
You brought it up before, John.
The double standard thing that we talked earlier, the discrimination and all that.
Bring out the little color shade chart.
Okay, well,
It's like it's like that Peter Griffin meme. There you go.
there we go. All right. Well, on that note, that's going to wrap up our Brandon Aiyuk edition. We'll be back in just a few minutes with our FIFA World Cup. We need to dive into the final 8, recap the final 16. Some amazing moments took place in that final 16 this past week, and Matt O'Boyle will be there.
I love how you treat this like it's live radio. It's so cute.
Why should it not be, right? Always
it will be one day. Manifest our future.
I want to thank Krista Large. I want to thank Tony Mainville. I want to thank our guest, Rob Simmons, Professional Fanatics, for joining us here today. You can listen to Downtown Sports. We're on 24 different platforms. We're on Spotify for Creators, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, CastBox, Bullhorn, Podbay, Listen Notes, Podcast Addict, Verbal, Castro.fm, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, Podvine, Podyssey, Odyssey, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, TuneIn, YouTube, and TikTok. Episodes, rants, digital market battles, specials every week. We are Downtown Sports, and we are where sports come home.
It's been an honor to have these two gentlemen on the air together. And, even though Matt didn't have much to say about this subject in particular, I feel that, it was a good thing. I feel like I've done a good thing tonight, bringing you two guys together.
No doubt.
I feel like this is going to be the start of something very good, especially, Matt, soccer very well, fantasy soccer pretty well. Your knowledge of college football is pretty good. I think there's some things that you two can do for each other.
Yeah, I'm always willing. If I can help and make a good contribution, I'm always willing.
Beautiful. All right. So with that, we'll be back with the FIFA World Cup. We'll dive into the comments with Paraguay and Mbappe and some other matters that have popped up during this round. We'll be back in a little bit. But right now, Jonathan Perriente, Beast of the East, saying goodbye and good night.
We're out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening.